There's going to be a smear campaign against Michael Jackson by the defense of Conrad Murray, the team.
I think it's starting already, and that's predictable. One of the reasons I'm making this interview now in New York is the fact that I think Michael's legacy is tainted, and somebody that was a friend, I feel very saddened to think that nobody really knew the Michael Jackson that I knew.
The fact that all kinds of evidence is going to be put forward to say that he was a drug addict as a physician, and his only attending physician when he lived in Ireland for all those months, you did not get approached by Michael for any kind of narcotics.
Absolutely not.
And somebody who knows and understands what the symptoms or signs would be of someone who is an addict, did you see any of that in Michael Jackson?
Absolutely not. I can only talk about the period that I knew him in Ireland, and certainly during that period, he never asked me for any sort of controlled substances. He never had any in the house that I was aware of, and he certainly never acted as if he had any. That, in my humble opinion, medical otherwise.
What was your gut reaction when you realized that Michael Jackson was really gone?
I think one of astonishment that somebody so young, just 50 years of age, you know, sort of had passed away. I knew there had to be some reason for it.
Is it possible that he became a drug addict and a completely different person after he left Ireland?
You know, of course that's possible. I mean, I couldn't see why it should happen, but I mean, it'd be inappropriate of me to not take into account every single aspect of it.
And the autopsy report says Michael Jackson was basically fine all the way around, other than something to do with his lungs that had to do with a bronchial condition. This is a person who was dancing, moving, singing. He had a dancer's body. He was limber. He, from all record and all accounts, was a healthy man.
Yes, by the autopsy report, we would tend to concur with that. And certainly, during the period that I knew Michael, he certainly was in good physical health. So, for a 50-year-old to die out of the blue, there would almost have to be something that would have happened. The fact that he had sort of been killed by a drug, in a way, made sense to me. I knew he was in good enough health, he wasn't going to die of a heart attack out of the blue. The
inconsistency of calling 911, the idea that there are a number of minutes that passed between the time that Michael Jackson was observed not breathing, according to Conrad Murray's own mouth, to the time the paramedics were actually called. There's a lot of time that elapsed there.
Absolutely.
What does that tell you about the standard of care? What was this doctor really required to do if he was practicing medicine the way we expect a doctor to practice medicine?
I suppose we don't fully know the circumstances surrounding it, and will probably come out in the court.
The guard who appeared first on the scene in Michael's bedroom described Conrad Murray as performing CPR with one hand. Is that even logical?
Again, I wasn't there when sort of Dr. Murray was in the room trying to perform CPR, but normally you would need two hands to do it, and we know from the autopsy report that at some stage somebody did do proper CPR because he had a fractured sternum and at least 3 other rib fractures. If the evidence is true, then it would seem to me to be a little unusual for a cardiologist to perform cardiopulmonary resuscitation in that manner. So I'm sure we should prepare ourselves for rocky waters ahead. He's going to be Paco Chaco, the drug freak, and, you know, there's a lot of people that's going to believe that.